Welcome everyone to Three Count Commentaries. I am your erstwhile host, MagMongoSlade. We're going to talk about Sweve again. I just saw another quote. Look, I call Sweve a stooge. I call him that lovingly because I am a fan of Sweve, but he is very annoying. The amount of brown nosing he does, I mean, it's like the dude's black as tar already. Why he got a brown nose? So he's talking about how AEW adds value to stars. I just want to talk about this quote that I've seen. It's also from the Bootleg Kev podcast. He says, Sasha Banks had value. Mercedes has more value now because of All Elite Wrestling. Cody had more value because of what AEW was able to do. Same with Punk. Same with Jon Moxley coming to AEW. Ricky Starks to Saints. Let's talk about this because there's a genuine belief that WWE is borrowing and taking a lot of stars like Jade Cargill and the like from the Penta and Phoenix and all these guys from AEW and making them superstars or whatever. Here's the issue. Do I think that AEW has increased the value of Mercedes Moné / Sasha Banks? I do not. I think if anything, it has exposed her. The fact that they started running smaller buildings exposed her. I don't think it's done anything for Jon Moxley. I don't think it's done anything for Edge. I don't think it's done anything for Jericho. I don't think AEW has helped them at all. If anything, it's diminished their profile, much like when guys go to TNA. Could you imagine some guy saying, oh man, look at what we was able to do with Christian Cage. He's more valuable now than when he goes back to WWE. Not really. Not really. Now, AEW does add value to certain talents. This is where you split the baby and you actually are honest. Without AEW, I don't think Penta or Phoenix or Ricky Starks gets on WWE's radar. I don't think Jade Cargill gets on WWE's radar without AEW. And I think that's fair. But if you want to give AEW credit for CM Punk, that's just a level of delusion that is, quite frankly, it makes me quake. AEW did nothing for CM Punk. If anything, it damaged the CM Punk brand more than anything. Because it ruined his relationship with his fans. Well, with a certain section of his fans. Do you think AEW increased the value of Jon Moxley? No. Let's just say no. If anything, it's the other way around. All of these people had value to AEW because they worked in WWE first. That's why you say, like, some of the people who never worked there, Ricky, Phoenix, Penta, Jay, yeah. AEW gave them a platform, gave them an opportunity, and WWE is like, oh, this guy's pretty good. He's buried in all this other stuff, but he's a good one. But everybody who was in WWE first, who are now going to AEW and Jericho is getting please retire chants, Mercedes is coming out to no reaction whatsoever. That's not increasing their value. It's not. That's just being honest. Again, it's all about honesty. If I thought that AEW had increased the value of a WWE wrestler, I would say that. I am saying that because I'm saying that there are certain guys who are on the independents who WWE could have signed in 2019 or 2020 or 2018. They could have signed Penta and all those guys because they were wrestling in the US in 2018, 2017. WWE wasn't interested. They had Ricky as an extra. They weren't really all that interested in bringing him into NXT or anything like that. But they're interested now. And part of that is going to be because they have, more people in the back and a different, view of the talent these days. I think Triple H being in control is the major reason why these people have more value to WWE now. Not really AEW. But, William Regal has worked with them. Cody has worked with them. You got those two guys vouching for you in the back. You got a pretty good chance of getting a job in WWE. If Vince was still there, I definitely Lucha guys wouldn't be there. Penta and Phoenix, probably not. Would Vince have brought in Ricky? Probably. But Penta and Phoenix, probably not. So I think Triple H being there has added a lot. And I think that for people who left WWE to go to AEW, it has actually ruined them. So I know what Swerve is trying to say, and I have some respect for it. And I think for certain talents, it's true. But for the people he decided to highlight, it's certainly not true of Mercedes. It's certainly not true of Jon Moxley and Jericho. It's certainly not true of Edge. It's certainly not true of Christian. It ain't true of Adam Cole. He fell off a damn cliff. But AEW has done wonders for guys who didn't get that opportunity before and may get that opportunity in the future. When guys like, Powerhouse Hobbs eventually comes over or whatever. Yeah, you could say, well, he wouldn't be there without AEW. Absolutely. Because he was another guy who WWE really didn't see nothing in at the time, even though he's big and jacked or whatever. They're like, Then he went over to AEW and he put his time in there, and maybe now it'll mean something now. But Mercedes and Punk and Cody, no, that's a sneak. Stop doing that. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.
No one does it better.